Starting our senior boar division, lot number 31, the ginger and black spotted boar pig. I think once again, really is a good quality hog. He gives us a good amount of structure, muscle shape, depth of volume. He balances up extremely well. A good quality pig. I really admire this pig as it comes towards me. He has a really wide chest, carries that depth through that boldness of rib, gives us a good amount of depth of flank, and balances up extremely well from a profile standpoint. When we get behind the pig does excel and gives us a good amount of muscle shape and definition through all proportions of his ham. He too gives us a good amount of width and structure and definition there as he goes away from me. In addition to, I really do admire this pig's skin and hair coat. Been well presented today, as well as is proper uniformity of condition and body mass for his age and size and frame and maturity. An excellent pig here in this division. Entry number 32, the black and white hog. We really do admire for that chest coming at us. Sets him down true and square. I appreciate that extension that the hog has within that neck. Gives us a good amount of levelness in his top shape, a good amount of slope there to that rump. Ideally, if I want to be a little more picky, I might give this pig just a little more elevation at the point of the shoulder. It wants to slightly slope downward. In addition to, the pig is sound within structure. When we get behind this one, it doesn't quite give us as much muscle mass and definition that we see there. Maybe not quite as wide and powerfully constructed going away, but an excellent quality boar. Has got a lot of good parts and pieces working in him today. Thank you. Lot number 33, the black and white hog. This pig has some good parts and pieces to work with. I really do love the squareness this pig has as it goes away from me. Sets him down really true and wide and square. That's excellent there from that perspective. This pig really wants to slope downhill, be taller at the point of the hip, shorter there at the slope of the shoulder. I need to give this pig a little more correctness there to balance that up. Wants to tuck those hind legs up underneath him, maybe a little more than I prefer. Fairly decent within structure, just needs to be balanced up and leveled out to be more complete in his overall kind and design, but the boar has a lot of good quality pieces and parts to work with within this class. Thank you. Entry 34, the tri-colored boar. He's one that we certainly admire there for his depth of body. He's really powerfully constructed in the center portion of his body. We admire that muscle mass and definition. He's one of your heavier muscle boars compared to his exhibitors within this class, and we admire that shape down his top and his muscle shape and rump shape and definition there to him. He's a touch too far forward. We really want to get picky about his shoulder blade placement. I need to square him up there a little bit over the top of the shoulder to balance him up, give him just a little more correctness on his front feet going away. But he certainly is the meat wagon of our division. Gives us a lot of muscle mass and power that we certainly appreciate about that boar within this class. Entry 35, the black and white belted boar. We really do admire quite a bit for his squareness coming away from us and his squareness going away. He's very wide within that chest cavity coming at us. Gives us a good amount of shape up high up over the top of his back and carries that through to that rump. In comparison to maybe some other boars within this class, he gets a little bit lighter when we talk about muscle shape and definition, specifically to his lower and center portion of that ham and definition. I might give him just a shot more width of base to match that power of width that this boar has within his chest, but a really good complete type of boar. I really like this boar a lot within this class. Entry 37, the ginger and black spotted boar, is another one that gives us a lot of good power of definition there to him. He too gives us a good amount of athleticism, very sound within that structure, gives us a lot of flexibility and durability here among this class. In compared to maybe some other boars within this class, he does get a little bit more narrow about his width of base. He does give up a little bit there. We talk about his muscle shape and definition as he goes away from us. He's moderate when we talk about some chest cavity coming at us. I'd like to just power this one up when we talk about some width from the ground up and the rump forward here for this boar. He's got a lot of good parts and pieces working today. I just need to see a little more width up underneath him in that skeleton and a shot more muscle expression when viewed from behind today. Entry 38, the white and black spotted boar. is another one that gives us a ton of thickness and stoutness up high over the top of its back. He's fairly level and correct there. We talk about his shoulder placement into his neck carriage. I think once again a boar we admire there for his tons of body mass and capacity that he's got. In comparison to some others within that class, he probably sets those rear legs down a little more than maybe what's ideal. He does have some good width of base and some good power there to him. He gets a little more, I guess, ununiform there in his balance because he's a little bit heavier today in his condition. Doesn't quite balance up there as far as some uniformity of condition compared to maybe some of those others. He's a little overdone there for his body mass and power today. Thank you. Entry 39. The deeper, darker, tri-colored boar is another one that appears to have some good athleticism to him. He too is wide up over the top of his back and carries some good definition there to him, to the upper part of his hips and his hind portion as well. I like this boar a lot. He seems to be really flexible on the move, gives us a lot of thickness and stoutness. He really carries that depth of chest too, clear back to his flank, and balances up extremely well from a profile standpoint. He gives us a good amount of thickness and of skull and some good body and definition there to him. Like I said before, has a decent amount of width of structure and skeleton there to him. I might give him just a little more width and power there going away, a little more shot of muscle expression today in his lower portion of his ham, but a boar that gives us a good amount of balance and body and muscle mass and definition today. Thank you. Entry 40 is another deep tri-colored pig that once again maybe gives us a little more depth there. We talk about his width of his belt he has on the one side. In comparison to this one, this boar is similar to the one that was ahead of it, number 39 within this class. Both boars got some decent amount of athleticism there to them, tons of body shape and muscle mass and definition. In comparison to other boars within this class, this one needs to be a little bit more correct when we talk about his angulation from stifle to hock or from hock to the ground. I need to change him just a touch there in his rear leg structure. He gets just a touch lighter muscle shaped and squarer there in his muscle pattern as he goes away. I would just change this boar slightly when he goes away from me there for his muscle and structure compared to some others within this class. Thank you. Entry 41, another tri-colored pig. He's got a little more golden appearance there to him on his ginger part, but certainly a really nice quality boar. We talk about he's being taller at the point of his shoulder. He gives us more height, I think, from the ground up and balances out from that standpoint. This boar gives us a decent amount of body shape and definition. He does get a little bit flatter in his rib shape, a little bit narrower there in his chest cavity, and when he goes away from me compared to some of those other pigs within this class, but a boar that we admire. If you want one to get you just a touch more length and frame size, he certainly would be the boar for you to select from that standpoint. He's decent within his structure. He maybe isn't quite as heavy muscled as some other boars within this class, but certainly has a lot of good parts and pieces to work with here within that drive. I really do admire this boar. He's got a touch more length to his head and his neck. I like him for his skull and his front portion of his body composition compared to some other pigs within this class, but I just need to give him some more power of width of base, a little bit more boldness underneath in the lower 1/3 today. Thank you. For selection of your senior boar champion, I think once again, there's one boar that gives us a little bit more muscle expression compared to the rest here within that class. He's got a combination of structure and muscle mass and balance and definition. He's just a complete type of boar. Kind of doesn't have too many big faults besides the fact he's maybe a little more moderate about his frame size. But a good quality boar, puts the most positive traits together. Entry number 31 will be your champion in the senior division today. Thank you. Your reserve champion, a senior boar, entry number 35, the big white belted, black and white belted boar, I think once again is very athletic and very sound within his structure. He bounces up extremely well. Compared to the other boar, I wish he had just had some more muscle expression through all proportions of his ham shape as he goes away. He needs to just some more muscle and power there going away to match his body mass and power, but a really good, sound, structured, athletic boar. Bounces up extremely well. A good, nice pair of champion and reserve boars here in this division today. Thank you. Our third place in honors boar within the senior division, entry number 32, the black and white spotted boar. A boar that really gives us a good amount of chest coming at us and squareness as well. He really bounces up extremely well, has tons of body mass and power. This boar needs to be changed just a touch as he goes away. He doesn't quite give us as much ham shape or as width of base there compared to those other two that place higher there as champion and reserve. A good quality boar, has a lot of good things to be honored here within the senior division today. Thank you.